Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call hello, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodesh. I want to send double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to send much peace, love, and salutations to Yakim out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, sincerity and truth. This is the brother Ariala. And on this lesson, I just want to do a little bit of camp mindset. I'm talking about assembling ourselves and camp growth overall. Took a trip to London and just got back. Um, it was an excellent time with those brothers, working with those men, fellowshipping with those brothers, and being able to camp with those brothers and hug their neck. And we did a lot of talking, and we talked about a few things. And this is one of the things that we did talk about. And I wanted to do a quick lesson on it and just talk about it in general. Is, as the camp grows, or even when the camp is very small, assembling together is one critical aspect of the brotherhood. As we gather ourselves together, we know that the most high, the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is magnified amongst the brotherhood. Now, we always talk about how this is an independent walk. There is a nature of this thing where the faith and the gifts that's been given to you, you take that and you push forward to the best of your ability in the spirit. But there's also an interdependence where we're all working together to do something, and the Most High keeps us together, and it lends us the ability to pray for one another, counsel with one another. You know what I'm saying? And just edify and teach. Okay, and we have to be mindful too, brothers that are officers, have more rank in the camp, that you're also looking over the flock, and men are literally growing up in the camp. Some bros cross over at age 16, 17. Some in their early 20s, and they haven't had much life experience. So the assembling of the brotherhood is paramount as growth as a man. And I want to talk about that a little bit and go through some scriptures. I want to start with Hebrews, the 10th chapter. And we're going to start at the 23rd verse. It says, "Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised," right? "Let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works." What is that love? That agape, that is that charity, that you're coming forth you're coming forth while being vulnerable with everything you got towards the truth. Okay, whatever resources or whatever your skill sets or whatever you're bringing that forth, and that provokes each other with love. You're doing it with charity in your heart, meaning you're not looking to gain from anything. You're gaining by storing your treasures in heaven. Okay, and these are the good works that you're working amongst the brotherhood, amongst the church. All right, we're all doing these things together and provoking each other to do these things together. All right, verse 25, "Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another," right? "And so much the more as ye see the day approaching," and so much the more. So as we get deeper and deeper into the path of the MOTB, Jacob's trouble, our connection with the Akiam and our connection with one another is going to be something that, through the Spirit, I feel is going to be very important and separate us from the rest of the world. Okay? And so as we see this day approaching, what are brothers doing? Sometimes you might have a situation where brothers are spread out. And I'm not talking about a 45-minute drive. I'm talking about 3.5 hour, 4 hour drives. Okay, both ways. Does this mean we don't come together? No. This just means that there has to be some type of coordination where brothers are actually getting together. Sometimes you might not be able to get together every single week, but it is for the camaraderie and for the cohesiveness of the camp. That's important. I know a lot of times brothers see what the apostles do or hear what the apostles say, and they might not fully understand the apostles. They have been spending decades and decades and decades literally together each and every day for decades. They've seen thousands of men come into the truth and fall out the truth. They are calloused in the spirit with hardships and situations and things that are going on. Us as young men, as novices, we still have to kind of go through the route that they took as far as making sure that we're showing up, the day-to-day grind, And when you're not getting together with each other, the monotony of going to work, dealing with your family, just showing up to camp, you're doing your lessons, and you're not being together, you're putting yourself in a situation where you can get spiritually beaten down really, really bad. And a lot of times that recharge just comes with getting together physically to where you can actually see a brother's eyes, talk and face to face, and really get down to the bottom of maybe there's some issues, maybe there's not some issues, maybe that bonding is there. A lot of bros don't get close to others because, oh, he might fall out. Well, yeah, he might fall out. Then so the most I'll send somebody else. That's fine. That's where the charity and the love comes in. All right. The Most High can always refill our cups if we ask, right? So it's important for us to understand as officers, as brothers that are more tenured in this thing, the state of your flock and making sure you're creating opportunities for brothers to come together. I'm talking about brothers that are in the camp. They're in the camp of good standing. Come together and break bread with one another occasionally and really talk and break stuff down one-on-one and get around each other. These things are important. And for brothers that always are doing this, that are always around brothers, I know right now you're probably thinking, duh, but you will be surprised how many bros don't do this. and they just watch YouTube, and that's it. And go to camp. There's not much building with one another. And this is a small thing, but I'm telling you, it's one of the key aspects of growth. And we're going to talk about why a little bit more as I read. Now, Proverbs 27:23 says, "Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well into thy herds." How can you know the state of your flock if you ain't never around a man? How can you know the state of your flock if you don't know who, you don't even know him? He just showed up to camp consistently, answered some questions, and they're in the camp. And this is why Apostle Hall was like, no new members. It's really a shot at the decision-making skills of the leadership. Okay, because we're here to grow. We're here to gather the hopeful elect. We have a job to do. And the Most High don't want to find us idle in that job. We are sifting and looking for and calling out to, because it's not up to us, but our job is to call out to those that are set for this ministry. Okay? But don't be simple-minded. Anybody that just says, yeah, how about your job, done, and barely even say it, they crossed over into the camp. No, that's a responsibility for that on you to understand and vet the men that you're working with, to know the state of the flock. In order to do that, you have to set up situations where, depending on if you have a large camp, you might break your officers up into pieces and say, hey, I want you working with these men. I want you brothers, I want y'all working with these men on these days. And I want you working with these men. Make sure everything's on going. Let's get reports in and so we can know what the hell is going on. But if you have a smaller camp, these are things that you can do week over week, bi-weekly, to make sure you're working and getting around the men. Because that's where the spirit of judgment comes out, right? Matthew 18:20 says, "For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them." All right? All right, so the Most High is moving on the brotherhood as we work and as we toil and as we sing this new song together. The Spirit is moving. And so things will come out in the Spirit, positive or admonishments and exhortations in a way. But the point is, if you're never around a brother really like that, if you only see him for 3 or 4 hours on camp day, do you really know the state of your flock? This is how we get a lot of mutiny, so to speak. A lot of people clicking up. A lot of little side discussions and BS be going on because brothers don't really get together, congregate together. Brothers are not really around each other, so people start to make presumptuous. They have presumptuous thoughts about another brother, or all these things can happen. We have to be mindful of that. So don't forsake the assembling of ourselves together. Very, very important, because the Most High is moving and working on that. In 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, in the 9th verse says, "For the Most High have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, who died for us, that whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him. That wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as also ye do. These things are important, man. So you always want to keep the camp active, man. If you got young men in your camp, you don't want them sitting about. You throughout the week, you want the camp to be active, man. You want, especially if you got younger men. Because what happens when a bro just, he might do his videos and he go to camp and he just has idle time. He finds BS to get into. Okay? So you set up things within your camp to where bros got stuff to do. Bros are active. Bros are constantly in the communication of the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay? Very and very important. Proverbs 19:15 says, slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. Okay? So you want to basically make sure that bros will keep toiling in this thing, so they're producing, they're being fruitful, they're in the spirit eating, in the spirit gathering and hunting. Okay? What are some examples of this that we have in the Dallas camp? Well, throughout the week, the camp pretty much stays pretty busy. You have a Tuesday camp, all right, which is broken up into several camps across Dallas. You have a Friday afternoon camp. You have a Friday evening camp. You have a Saturday class session. You have a Sunday class session. Okay? So these are multiple days out the week where brothers are actively being put in a situation to be in the spirit. All right? We have a new moon meeting for the officers. We have fellowship after class. Sometimes, usually, it might be just the officers together, and then the young men will congregate wherever they congregate. We have a couple of houses designated for that. And then maybe once a month or maybe once every other month, the whole camp will come together and we'll fellowship as a whole unit. And these are opportunities for officers to have one-on-ones with the young brothers, talk about certain things that might be going on in life. You have to realize these men are growing up. There is a kind of a relationship of big brothers and dads to sons in this thing. Men cross over into the camp that some bros don't even have a driver's license, or they've never written a resume, or they're dealing with a baby mama issue, don't know what the hell to do. You're not going to just get that breakdown over YouTube. Sometimes you got to sit and actually talk to a brother, man. And actually, wait, hey, what's the game plan? Oh, these are the experiences that I have, or these are the experiences that other brothers have. Maybe you can utilize this. Some brothers don't know how to cook. So a lot of brothers, when they cross over during fellowship, they're spending time sous chefing, learning how to cut meat, learning how to cut vegetables, learning how to take care of themselves. Brothers learning how to start a fire, learning how to box, learning how to be men. You can't just get that over YouTube videos. These things are necessary for you to come together and do amongst each other, so the camp is growing. So you're gaining experiences with each other, right? So you want to keep things busy and active. Sirach 33:27 says, start at 26, and this is just us as servants in this thing. Us as servants in this thing. It says, a yoke and a collar do bow the neck. So are tortures and torments for an evil servant. Send him to labor, that he be not idle, for idleness teacheth much evil. Set him to work as is fit for him. If he be not obedient, put on more heavy fetters. All right? Now, you'll know if a brother just don't want to do it, he don't want to be here, well, Allah Lavisa and Chavez to you. Bye. I don't care. See, after a point, somebody fall out, oh, well, tough titty. Next. But when you first in the camp, you got 6 men and somebody fall out, man, I can't believe this. Man, he been here for 10 years. He gone. I can't believe he left. Oh, well. He don't want to do it no more. That's a part of it. There's an independence. But then the interdependence is, I'm going to work with who's here. I'm going to work with who want to be here. And if you set standards within your camp, you'll find out who don't want to be there. Real quick. You'll find out. But if everybody's just kind of just winging it, you don't know what's going on with this man or that man, or really, I talked to him the other day. But you really don't know. then the things are just kind of just up in the air a lot of times with Akyam. Okay, but when you set and you have things keeping things moving, life. You don't want still waters. Still waters is dirty. Still waters it gets infected with bacteria and poisonous algae. It kills life. You want to have moving, flowing waters. Okay? You want to have activity and electricity within the camp. Not idleness and slothfulness and No, you want to set and put things in place where young men are active. Okay? Proverbs 12:24, the hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. Are you a king or are you a servant? Kings are very, very busy. Princes are very, very busy. Lords of lands are extremely busy. Owners are busy. Okay? Active. Okay? And so, also another thing is, brothers come in with minimal amounts of experience, life experience. They haven't been nowhere. A lot of brothers haven't been to an arboretum, haven't been to the beach, haven't been to a lake, haven't never fished, haven't been to the museum. Okay? It's okay to learn things and gain experiences. It doesn't have to mean you're going to doing something wild and wicked, but you can set these things within the camp to say, hey, we're going to go to the museum. We're going to go camping. I don't know. Whatever. Something. These experiences bring bros together and allow you to grow as a man more than what you think. This is not just learning something on YouTube. You cannot grow up like that. You grow up in the actual real life in this truth. Touch me. Handle me. You gotta, get activated in this thing. Sitting up watching YouTube videos all day is not going to help you grow as a man like that. You're going to learn the scriptures. You're going to get pointers. You're going to get tips. Yes, you're going to be edified, learn some history, but to actually go and do certain things and setting that up within the camp to where you can do that, it doesn't have to be something expensive or crazy. These things are life experiences. And when you have more life experiences, I'm telling you, you pull more from the scripture. You pull more out of the scripture because you can relate. When we read, we're reading about top level men. Okay? Men that will travel, right? Here in Sirach 34:9, a man that have traveled knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom. Verse 10, he that hath no experience knoweth little, but he that hath traveled is full of prudence. All right? When I travel, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express. All right? And so these are times and situations where brothers might learn. Y'all might go to the like I said, you might go to the arboretum, or which is just a massive garden. Learn about plants in your city, or you might go to a historical museum and actually get to read and learn about certain things. Okay, some people they call it or whatever they call it, botanical gardens or whatever. You might do that, or you bros, like I said, might just take a trip somewhere real close and camp out for a day, or go to the lake, teach a few brothers how to fish, how to gut the fish and clean the fish, how to start a fire. Okay, you might go do that. Like I said, you got certain brothers that haven't experienced much. These things provide and help growth within the camp, and it also creates a bond with you and the men that you're with, that you're fighting with, that you're at war with. Okay? You best believe we are at war. Okay? A lot of the times you can get hit by friendly fire because you are not a coordinated unit. Because the assembling of the brotherhood is not there within the camp, and you got to tweak it, and you got to work for it. You got to get out of your own head. You have to get out of your own comfort zones and do new things. All right? So you can learn. You get around brothers, you learn. You learn, okay, he learned this brother, he's edified this way. This brother's edified that way. This brother, I'm going to be a little bit more hard on him. He needs it. This brother, you be more gentle with him. He needs that. Everybody ain't the same. But you can't know it if you ain't around them. Some of my brothers, I might joke a little bit more with them. Certain brothers, I don't joke with them. I'm not mad at them. But as I've learned by being around them, that's the temperament that the Spirit has been given to me to deal with that brother. Because some brothers that come in, they're cocky. And so I don't play with you. I don't play with cocky guys. Because those guys tend to get too familiar. So you got to kind of, but you learn this through time and experience. Right? Sirach 25:6, much experience is the crown of old men, and the fear of the Lord is their glory, man. So as time passes in the truth and come in, you cross over first couple years, first 4 or 5 years, you should be extremely busy, should be serving the camp, doing your best of your ability to continue to grow in the scripture, the knowledge, but also learning how to be a humble man and growing up. Even if you come into the camp as a 45, 50-year-old man, and it's your first year, yeah, there might be a little bit difference because you're older, but you're still in the way of someone very young. Okay? So that humility should show. Either way, if a man is 16 or if a man is 60, that humility should show. All right? But you don't learn it unless you get around bros and actually assemble and do stuff with each other. Okay? Saw a picture of Chicago. It's one of the greatest camps that we have here. Beautiful, beautiful brothers. I mean, a camp full of mighty men. Seriously. And they always together. And then, they'll shoot some pictures into the chat. They with the Elder Malcolm training, doing jiu-jitsu, boxing, Thai boxing. Brothers are growing up into men right in front of your face. And it's cool. Those are brothers that, hey, I'm ready to go to war with. You know what I'm saying? Okay? And so you want to make sure that these are some of the things that we're doing, but I don't want to belabor the point and keep beating it down. I feel like that the point was made. I'm going to put this up. Please put precepts that you might have or points that you might have into the chat, into the chat, man. And so those that need to take notes and write these scriptures down, they can do that, man. So Lord willing, that was edifying. I wanted to bring out that point, though, man. So with that being said, I'm going to say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Bakaha Kodash. Double honors once again to the apostles and to the elders, a great millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to you. I came out there pushing the word of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, sincerity and truth. Shalom.